Hey there, homeowners. Ever wonder about that box on the side of your house with all the numbers? That's your single-phase meter, and it's a pretty important part of your home's electrical system. It's like a referee, keeping track of how much electricity you use so you get billed correctly. Pretty important, right? Now, you might be tempted to tackle installing one yourself, and hey, I'm all for folks getting their hands dirty, but electricity is nothing to mess around with. It can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. That's why I'm here to walk you through the process, step by step. Remember, safety is paramount. We don't want any jolts to the system, right? So, let's get started and learn how to install a single-phase meter like a pro. But remember folks, even with the best guide, working with electricity can be risky. If you're ever unsure about a step, please call a licensed electrician. It's always better to be safe than sorry. Alright, let's gather up what we need for this electrifying project. Just like a chef needs his knives, we need the right tools to install this meter safely and correctly. Don't worry, we're not talking about anything too fancy. Screwdrivers, you'll need both Phillips and flathead just in case. Make sure they're insulated to protect you from shocks. Wire strippers, these are essential for exposing the wires so we can make connections. Voltage tester, safety first. This little gadget will tell us if there's any live current running through the wires. Pliers, handy for gripping and bending wires if needed. Level, we want that meter installed straight, don't we? Drill, depending on your setup, you might need this to make some holes. Safety glasses and gloves. Protect those peepers and paws. Having the right tools is only half the battle. Make sure you know how to use them properly. Read the instructions, watch some videos, or ask a knowledgeable friend for help. Okay folks, before we even think about touching any wires, we need to talk safety. Electricity is powerful stuff and it demands respect. Remember, we're aiming for a successful installation, not a trip to the emergency room. First things first, make sure the power is off at the main breaker before you do anything else. This is absolutely crucial to avoid any nasty shocks. Once you've flipped the breaker, double check with your voltage tester to make sure there's no current flowing to the wires you'll be working on. Wear your safety glasses and gloves at all times while working on the electrical panel or handling wires. And remember, if you encounter anything that looks or feels off, stop immediately and call a licensed electrician. It's always better to be safe than sorry, right? Okay, with safety covered, let's get that meter ready for its new home. First, choose a spot for your meter. It needs to be easily accessible for readings and maintenance, but also in a protected location away from any potential damage. Once you've found the perfect spot, make sure the surface is flat and sturdy. Now you'll need to mount the meter base. This is the metal box that the meter itself will attach to. You can usually find mounting hardware at your local hardware store. Use your level to make sure the base is perfectly straight, then secure it to the wall. Remember, every installation is different, so you might need to make some adjustments based on your specific situation. Don't be afraid to consult the manufacturer's instructions or call in a pro if you need help. Getting it right the first time will save you headaches down the road. Section 5. Making the connections, wiring up your meter. Alright folks, here's where things get a little more technical. But don't worry, we'll take it slow and steady. With the meter base installed, it's time to connect the wires. This is where those wire strippers come in handy. You'll have wires coming from your main electrical panel and wires connected to your home's electrical system. Each wire needs to be connected to the correct terminal on the meter base. The terminals are usually labeled, but it's always a good idea to double-check with your local electrical code and the manufacturer's instructions. Remember, each wire carries a specific voltage and needs to be handled with care. Make sure the stripped ends of the wires are securely fastened to the terminals, and there are no loose strands sticking out. A loose connection can cause a short circuit, and we definitely don't want that. Section 6. Double-checking our work. Testing 1, 2, 3. With the wires connected, it's time to make sure everything is working as it should. But before you do anything else, double-check all the connections. Are the wires securely fastened? Are there any loose strands? It's always better to be safe than sorry. Once you're confident in your work, it's time to turn the power back on at the main breaker. Stand back and listen for any unusual noises like buzzing or crackling, then check the meter itself. Is it displaying readings? If so, congratulations, you've successfully installed your single-phase meter. If you encounter any problems or the meter isn't working correctly, don't panic. Turn the power off at the main breaker immediately and carefully inspect your work. If you can't figure out the issue, don't hesitate to call a licensed electrician for assistance. Section 7. Buttoning it up. Final steps for a job well done. Okay, we're in the home stretch. With the meter installed and tested, it's time to button things up. First, carefully tuck all the wires back into the meter base, making sure they're not pinched or crossed. Then, secure the meter cover onto the base. Next, clean up your work area. Put away all your tools, dispose of any wire scraps properly, and make sure the area around the meter is clear of any obstructions. Finally, take a moment to admire your handiwork. You've successfully installed a single-phase meter, and that's something to be proud of. But remember, if you ever have any doubts or questions about your electrical system, don't hesitate to reach out to a licensed electrician for help. Section 8. Keeping it running. Smooth maintenance tips for your meter. Congratulations on installing your single-phase meter. Now let's keep it running smoothly for years to come. Just like any other part of your home, a little maintenance goes a long way. First, make a habit of visually inspecting your meter every few months. Look for any signs of damage like cracks in the cover, loose wires, or signs of overheating. If you notice anything unusual, turn off the power at the main breaker and call a licensed electrician immediately. Next, keep the area around your meter clear of any obstructions like plants, debris, or stored items. This will ensure proper ventilation and prevent any potential hazards. Remember, a little preventative maintenance can save you from big headaches down the road. Section 9. Need a hand? Don't be afraid to call for backup. And there you have it, folks. Installing a single-phase meter might seem like a daunting task, but with the right tools, a healthy dose of caution, and a clear understanding of the steps involved, it's definitely achievable. But remember, safety always comes first. If you're ever unsure about a step, or if you encounter any unexpected challenges, don't hesitate to call a licensed electrician. They have the knowledge and experience to handle any electrical work safely and efficiently. After all, it's better to be safe than sorry, right? Remember folks, electricity is nothing to mess around with. Always err on the side of caution and call in the pros if you need help. Stay safe out there.